Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about The Ultimates issue 16 by Dennis Camp, Juan Frigeri and Federico Blee. Earth 6160 continues to change as it marches closer and closer to the Maker's return. Thanks to The Ultimates, people are now beginning to stand up to those in power, and we get to follow one of those people across this issue as a young girl named Ren is chewed out by her parents for skipping school, but she thinks that there are better things to do than school. Ren knows that the only teacher who ever taught her anything of value was a woman named Jennifer Walters, who taught her 6th grade and told her students to have free thought, not follow what is in the textbooks or the news. Jennifer taught the kids about elections, the Magna Carta, and the rights they all have as people, but thanks to this, she soon caught the attention of the Hand, who cart her off to prison. Bringing back the original She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, since the She-Hulk in this universe isn't actually Jennifer, as a new character and one who still gets her moment of heroism is really awesome. I like the change that she is a teacher who is teaching about ethics and right from wrong and the rights people have, almost like a lawyer. She's teaching them as a lawyer. She's teaching these children all of these different rights they have as people of the United States. And I thought that was a damn genius move on Dennis Camp's part. That's a really cool move. And of course, it probably means Jennifer is now dead thanks to the Hand coming and carting her off, but I like that she did get that moment of heroism. Ren's father tells her not to say a thing about what happened to her teacher, but luckily her friend Mia also saw it as well, so Ren was able to confide in someone. Things get worse for the girls when Mia is revealed to be a mutant, growing gills under her arms. Ren assures her that it'll be okay, but the morning after, Ren is told by Mia's parents that she suddenly died in her sleep from something genetic, which to me read like the Hand came and disappeared her like Jennifer, and her parents just kind of fell back in line. Ren feared that the men would soon come to take her as well, since she knew, but it never happened, and one day while watching TV, she saw the news break on the Ultimates' first big fight with Captain Britain, a sight which stuck with her. In the present, there is a knock at the door and Ren's father goes to open it, despite Ren telling him not to. Back in the past, Ren looks up everything she can on the Ultimates, finding the media was trying to make them look like terrorists, while some of the first-hand accounts that managed to get through the online filters painted them as heroes. I'm liking getting to explore the Ultimates world through the eyes of just a normal person, getting to experience this heavily monitored, curated world where people are told what to believe, and when they don't, they get disappeared by the Hand. And how we've seen time and time again when that happens, there's going to be people who don't follow the rules. You know, you tell someone not to do something, guess what they're going to do? It's been great seeing this young woman seeing what is wrong with the world, and like what Jennifer Walters taught her, begin to ask some questions. And Ren does just that, asking the mailman, neighbors, the homeless, all sorts of questions about those who are in charge and how they aren't as good as the media make them out to be. Her parents don't like this at all, knowing that she'll get herself in trouble if she continues, and that just pushes Ren to keep going. Since she couldn't reach the Ultimates, she instead found another group, the North American Union, who are also about demanding democracy in the USA. Ren heads to one of their secret meetings, using a password to get inside and listen to the group talk about world leaders working against them. Ren was still sure that the Hand would strike very soon, but it never came, and she kept going to the meetings. Camp does something really cool here where he broaches the idea that a lot of these groups are just places for people to gather and kind of complain to one another. It's a group that not much actually happens. There's no like action. There's a bit of actual inaction. They're just there to complain to each other, you know, probably have the free coffee or something. And I like that he actually makes that a point where he visualizes it with the group being made up of lots of older people who have been doing this for 60 odd years, and they've got really nothing else going on in their life, and they're just there to complain. But with Ren and a few other young people joining and taking up, you know, the cause, and thanks to the Ultimates lighting a fire in them, the group take on a more proactive stance. And we see that in real life all the time as well, as older entrenched people in groups are kind of replaced, or, you know, younger people join these groups and they're more energetic people, and they want change in the world and want to take action, and that's what we're seeing here, and I really like that visualization. Thanks to the newer younger members joining, the group become more energized, and soon their goals to become the Ultimates is made a reality as America Chavez comes to see them, further galvanizing the group and emboldening them to do things like minor vandalism by painting the Ultimates name and logo across buildings and playing the long banned American national anthem in shopping malls. Eventually, the Ultimates network is created and connected Ren's group with other larger groups, several which had access to superpowered members. Ren soon helped out Hawkeye assassinate a Roxxon executive and even helped hide who she assumes was Captain America in her basement until the heat died down after one of his recent missions. I also like the little detail here that Cap uses the alias Brett Hendrick with Ren, which is one of the many aliases he's used a couple of times in the 616 universe, so that was kind of a nice little touch. Ren's group soon make their own big moves and blow up a government building in town, making sure that it was empty and no one got hurt though. The bombing made the news for weeks, and while her parents didn't know what was happening, they suspected Ren was somehow involved, although she denied everything, not wanting to stop after coming so far. Her parents think that the Ultimates are a criminal gang and they are trying to protect her thanks to what is happening, and if someone found out what she was up to, she would be killed. Camp uses the parents in this way that I found really interesting, because I think a lesser writer would have painted the parents as villains, as the antagonists who are trying to stop her because they believe one thing and she believes another, but they don't really do that here. What Camp does is he paints them as people who have been fed on this fake news stuff on thanks to the cabal, manipulating the news and what is filtered through the internet, but they're just doing it just because they want to protect their daughter. They just want what's best for their daughter, and that's the only way they know how. It's because of how all the information that they've been fed has kind of rotted their brains, that they think that calling them criminals and all that sort of stuff is the right way. And I could see definitely how it could be, the old boomer who doesn't want to understand the truth or see the truth type role, but I really like that you can tell that they themselves are conflicted and have their daughter's safety in mind and nothing else. They just want her to be safe. In the present, the Hand burst into Ren's home and kill Ren's father, and holy shit, I love that the book isn't shying away from any of the violence here. We get to see the dude's head come completely off and get turned to mush. The Hand says that Ren has been found guilty of absentia and affiliation with a terrorist organization. Ren's mother tries to tell her to run, but is blasted in half by the Hand agents, who hate the idea of shooting another kid, so instead they'll just cut her up with their swords. The agents pursue Ren out the back of the house as she sends out an SOS to the Altnet, but no one answers, as most of the group have actually been killed by the Hand before they got to Ren. The agent catches up to her, cornering her in a street as some neighbors pass by, asking if everything is okay. The agent moves to kill the witnesses, but Ren pleads with them to leave them alone, and she'll go with them quietly. The neighbors, however, aren't just some kindly old people, as the woman pulls a gun on the agent and shoots him down, calling him a fascist piece of shit. So it turns out the neighbors are all part of the Altnet, having seen Ren's SOS. They give Ren the gun and tell her to run, and when the other agent comes by, they claim that they saw Ren shoot the agent and head the other way. Ren heads downtown, but the agent soon catches up with her, knowing the old people were lying to him. Ren fires her gun at the agent, but he cuts her arm off, gloating how the evidence factories are fabricating evidence that makes it look like Ren killed all of these people. Before he can take her in though, the agent is shot in the back by a homeless man who offers Ren a rag to wrap her arm in and tells her to keep heading for the rendezvous point. The agent, still alive, manages to get back up and continues to pursue Ren as the girl makes it to a mail truck driven by Jeremiah, the mailman she was talking to in the earlier parts of the issue. He tells her to get in the back, and just in time as the Hand agent stops the van, asking the driver if he's seen a young woman missing her hand run by. Jeremiah thinks that he would actually notice something like that in the streets, and the Hand agent waves him on. Bringing back all of these people that Ren interacted with at the start of the issue, all of these people who she conversed with and talked to about all of these ideas, coming together to help her out felt so satisfying. Her talking about this kind of galvanized them to be like, hey, maybe we can do something, maybe we can help out. And then they of course go and join, and then more people go and join the alt network, and it just keeps building and building and building. It made it feel like she exists in a much larger circle than she thought. She thought she was cut off from everyone, when really she's opening up these ideas to other people and spreading it and making the circle much larger. One thing Camp has excelled at across this series is showcasing how heroism doesn't just come in the form of a person in a colourful cape or a fancy metal suit. There is that side of it, but it's also much smaller moments between people helping each other out with their problems and getting together to fight fascism, since that's what people in charge don't want these type of people to do. They don't want them working together, talking about each other, talking about the things that are going on, figuring things out, since that's where the actual power comes from. Once the people start thinking for for themselves is when they become a danger to these fascists. And I like seeing that from this person's point of view. All these people are starting to come together and it's working. Ren doesn't understand how any of this could happen, but Jeremiah tells her that there is more to this network than she can imagine, and it's a lot bigger than she thought. She just doesn't need to worry now, as they're going to fix the world. The Ultimates issue 16 took a break from superheroes to show their effect on everyday people, something I love when comics get a chance to do, and the issue is no different. Camp writes a topical, interesting dive into everyday life in Earth 6160 and proves that if the people come together as a team, then the fascist powers in charge stand no chance against them. I am going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.